So I'm Chris Ferzoco with the Ferzoco Group real estate team here at the Jersey Shore and ranging in Cape May and Atlantic County. And we do from time to time get phone calls and have conversations with folks that are looking at becoming snowbirds and wondering how all that works and what are some of the best areas for them to be purchasing in, and also how does that work and what should they be looking out for or making sure that they're doing as a snowbird here down at the Jersey Shore.
So what is a snowbird?
So a snowbird is someone who tends to do a southern area in the winter. And so generally it's always been Florida, but now we get a lot of people actually in this area going to the Carolinas and some down into like Savannah area too. But it's someone that's actually away from the snow. So basically it's just like the birds, they fly south for the winter, head south for the winter, and then you come back in the summer months. Typically it could be somewhere like April to October, May to October is when you come back for the nicer weather. You know, in our area here, really what people truly enjoy is if they're older and they don't have children that they need to have to get back to school, they love the month of September. So in the month of September, actually the towns are the quietest. They're quiet. The water is at its warmest temperature, and we still have great weather temperature-wise, and sun and what have you. So it's a great time for those people because you get the joys of all the restaurants being open. You get the joys of the ocean temperature and the beach and everything else. That you just don't have the crowds. So the snowbirds really love that. So they're here through the month of September, and then they start getting into October, November, and some of them start to make their way right around Thanksgiving, or shortly thereafter they start heading south.
Where do most of the snowbirds that live here?
Yeah.
I guess do some of them, I'm used to like snowbirds coming from other places, but I guess they could come from other places, but also they probably go from here to other places.
Yeah, so some of the snowbirds we have actually have houses here, and then they do have them in Florida as well. Neither one of them are their primary. For people that are actually that live here, and or are maybe looking to have a property here, and then they're going to retire here, and then they're going to go south as well. So it's kind of almost like a two-step situation. They tend to look. Again, it really depends on the individual. Some of the towns do have some like your high-rise buildings so that there's multi-unit condominiums within there. So they like that because it's an HOA, it's real easy, there's no maintenance, they don't have to worry about cutting the grass or doing anything like that. It's all taken care of for them. So it's just really kind of design, it's really going to depend on the design of the building and what they're really looking for.
What are the best practices for maintaining and managing a house if you are a snowbird, and you're leaving a house behind for half the year? What's the best way of maintaining a house that you would leave here, specifically on the Jersey Shore? Like,
Sure.
Are there things I need to remember?
Well, I think you always have to remember is that we do get the nor'easters. And so if your property is going to be sitting over the winter, you really want to have someone that you can rely on. Okay, and we pride ourselves on our team at the Ferzoco Group that our customer service is always continual, right? It doesn't just stop at the closing table once you purchase a property. That we're here for you if you need something or you want us to check on something. We're always available we need to run over, we need to check on deck furniture because there's high winds coming, or hey, there was a storm or something and what have you. We're always there that we can run over and check on a client's property. Be more than happy to do so no matter what. You really want to have that connection. You want to have somebody you can rely on. Let's face it, you're virtually thousands of miles away. Is there somebody that would be available to check on my property to make sure there aren't any issues? One thing you really want to make sure you're always doing, of course, is you want to shut the water off. You want to drain the lines. You probably want to make sure that it's all winterized from the standpoint of if we get some brutally cold winters here, and we can get them. I mean, even though we got the ocean there and the ocean temperature, you start getting into that third week of January to right around the second, third week of February, it is brutally cold and we have some nasty cold winds. That gets up into your piping and stuff like that and freezes those pipes. If you have water in there, you're going to have a really bad problem when it starts to thaw out. And we've seen it over the years, and thankfully it seems to be getting better and better. Obviously with the newer constructions and stuff like that, you don't have those kind of issues, but you just always want to make sure that you're draining out the water lines. We have a property that we do that with all the time. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. We're always draining the lines when we leave. for long periods of time, just because you just don't want to have any issues. The water will just keep running and running and running until someone shuts it off. Then that's a pricey problem.
Yeah. Let's say I go south to Florida. Is it possible, and would it even be wise to try to make my property appear a rental? Would it even get occupancy in those like winter months?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's quite possible. And again, some variables are obviously going to come into play here. But yeah, I mean, without a doubt, we have some people that they're always looking for winter rentals. It's seasonal. So they'll rent in one location from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and then they're renting another location from Labor Day to Memorial Day. So it kind of depends. But oh yeah, there's always opportunity to rent out in the off season for sure.
Are there events that I should not miss if I am a snowbird during the summer? Like, you need to arrive by this date and don't leave until this date, or else you'll miss this awesome thing.
Yeah. Well, the way that the shore here, that's such a great question. And the way the shore is really designed in all the towns together, you really want to be back by Memorial Day, of course. I think for a lot of folks, depending on if you have an HOA and you have an association, a lot of times those meetings start getting going in the early April. So you might want to be there to make sure you're just paying attention to what's going on in your association, that you know what's happening. And you don't want to come back and all of a sudden there's a construction project that you didn't know about or what have you. So those tend to happen in that mid-April, mid to the end of April. So I think probably somewhere around, and you do actually have some events that happen in April up on the promenades and on the boardwalks and stuff like that. You start getting some of the parades, you start getting some of the runs and what have you that, for different events and stuff like that. So really once the weather kind of breaks in that mid-April is when you really want to start to make your way back.
Do you guys, as like the Ferzoco group, do you guys specialize at all in like second homes for people? Is that like, I guess, are you familiar with people getting a second home?
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's really one of our primary jobs, if you will, is finding someone a second home, not necessarily just an investment property. And there is a difference. I mean, some people, that they buy them as investments because they're just looking to rent, and that's what they're going to do. And if there's occasion that they can actually use it, September, October, summer off season, then they use it. But their main focus is to rent, and they're going to rent from pretty much mid-May, Memorial Day, all the way through September, Labor Day, and run it as an investment property. So we do work with those folks as well. But predominantly, our clientele is second homes where they're using it with their families to enjoy.
Cool.
Build those shore memories.
And then what are the best activities here for us snowbirds to enjoy during the summer months?
Well, during the summer months, it's endless. I mean, you have everything you can do on the shore. So depending on what you're into, and I mean, you have again, the parades and everything on the boardwalks. You have nightly events. You have the music piers that have concerts, and then there's obviously all the water sports from paddleboarding, kayaking, wave runners, if you want to do all that kind of stuff. In some of the towns, they actually have the tiki huts, which is really neat. I know Margate and Sea Isle, they definitely have it. I think there might even be one down in Cape May now, but they have the tiki huts where you get on there, and depending on the town, you can bring your cooler with you, and you get a little captain, and he drives around, and you're on a tiki hut raft, and you're having drinks for a couple hours out on the lagoons, checking out all the properties via the lagoon and all of that, which is a lot of fun. So it just makes for a different kind of day. But again, then you start looking at, you get down to Cape May, you get the history in Cape May and everything else like that. So it depends on what you're really looking to enjoy. I think in the winter months, the towns are a lot more lively than they used to be. None of these towns are your sleepy little shore towns like they used to be. There's a lot of people here year round now, so you're starting to see more and more activities year round. So I think you're starting to see more people that are those snowbirds that they're leaving later. That they may have cut out before in October because it's like, well, there's nothing to do here. Everyone's gone. Well, all of a sudden they're leaving closer to Christmas because that's when it gets really cold and they don't want any parts of this. But there's more to do here in these towns. The restaurants stay open longer for people nowadays. So it just seems to be like there's a lot more to do. So there's a lot more traffic here right up until about Thanksgiving, into that early part of December now.
So if I'm looking to spend my summers here and I want that second home to share with my family and friends, who should I contact?
Well, if you're going to look to have a home here at the shore, then contact the Ferzoco Group. Not only can we help you sell your homes here, but we can certainly help you buying and investing and help guide you to what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. And if you're someone who's an investor and you're looking to get into multiple properties and you have you want to start to build out a portfolio, we can help you with that. We can guide you with that. We can put you in the right direction. We're going to make sure that you're going to land in a property that's going to be right for you, right for your needs, and not just put you in something that just satisfies the sale for us. That's not what this is about. You know, we're always looking to make your tomorrow better than today. And ultimately that starts with you and your goals and dreams, whether it's an investment, whether it's a second home, whether it's a primary home, retirement, whatever the case is, we're gonna find that home for you. And if you're looking to then move in a different direction, another phase of life is leaving the area, we know that that can be challenging. From the standpoint of not challenging in the real estate market, but it can be challenging emotionally. That if you've been here for a number of years and all of a sudden you're gonna start to retire in another area, but you've been coming here since you were a child, that can be emotional. That can be a hard thing to do. You could have ties here. So we know how to make that transition as smooth as possible, make it an enjoyable one, make it exciting, and help you accomplishing what you want to accomplish for your life and not have to worry about the real estate factor of it.